Hi, welcome back. This is Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking. Thanks for letting me back in today. Today we're going to make something that reminds me of my childhood. We're going to make chili corn dogs, and it's going to be a casserole. I remember growing up when I'd go to the state fair or the county fair, that one of my favorite things was getting a corn dog, and I still love corn dogs to this day if I can find them. But we're going to make a corn dog chili casserole, and it's so simple to make. My oven's going off, it's preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm going to use my big cast iron skillet. Now, you don't have to use a cast iron skillet. If you've got just a glass square pan you want to use, put it in there. I'm going to put about a half a stick of butter in here, and we'll put this back in the oven, and I want this to heat up a little bit while we're working. Okay. Now I'm going to pretty much follow the package instructions. I'm going to use Jiffy bread. You know, I love the Jiffy bread mix. I think they're wonderful. I've got cornmeal over in flour. I can make my own cornmeal, and I do a lot of the time, especially in the morning for breakfast. But this is so quick. This is just a simple recipe. We're going to open 2 boxes. And for a long time, I couldn't get Jiffy down here. So I had to make it every time, and I got used to making cornbread, and then I've got spoiled again. So anyhow, that's 1 box, and get this other box open. Make sure they have been sealed really tight. Well, I think I'll get it open here eventually. Okay, and let's dump this one in. Okay, very basic, 2 boxes of Jiffy cornbread. Okay, next I'm going to add 2 eggs. There's 1. And there is number 2. Okay, now I'm going to stir this up a little bit. I tell you, and while I'm stirring this up, I'm going to stop for a minute to get my milks. Give me a second to get the milk out the refrigerator. My milk, I've got 2/3 of a cup of milk I'm going to pour in here. And that's pretty much just the basic ingredients for Jiffy. They just make you have the eggs and the milk. And we'll stir this around really, really well and get this all mixed up. I've had 2 or 3 of you ask me, say, why don't you use a beater like you know, it might be simpler. Well, this is a beater. It's for bread and everything, but I find it really easy to use because it does get all the knots and the lumps out, and I just like it better because it's sturdier for me. But I do have all sorts of beaters that I use. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for a second. Then I've got a pack of hot dogs. Okay, I'm going to take the hot dogs. Well, I'm going to take the hot dogs and I'm going to cut them into pieces. Just like this. Now, I have made chili dogs on another recipe where I actually put the stick in it and dipped them in the cornbread and actually made the chili, but this is going to actually be a casserole that you can serve for guests coming over, and it really tastes really good, and you see it's so easy to make. I'm just making up the basic cornbread. I'm chopping up some hot dogs. I tell you, the recipe I brought you the other day, that the Bailey's butter bread pudding recipe, you need to try that. I finished it up a little while ago. That is so good. But anyhow, I'm going to bring my batter back over here. Set my plate other way. Bring my batter back over here, and I'm just going to pick up my hot dogs. And I'm going to put them right here in this mix. I see if I can do this without making a mess. Well, there goes one. That's okay. Fortunately, goes several. Okay. Now I'm going to stir this up in my cornbread. And hence we got our corn dogs. Okay, get this all stirred up. And now I'm going to get me a hot plate here. Get my skillet out. And you can see the butter has melted all the way around. I want to see if I can go up on the sides a little bit with this in my skillet. I love using cast iron. As you know, I love it. I love restoring it. I'll be honest with you. I got a package yesterday in the mail that somebody sent me a cast iron skillet, and it's the first one that I doubt myself whether I can do anything with it or not. It needs a lot of work. It's a really old one, but we're going to see. Okay, I'm going to scrape this down. Put my beater over here. Then I'm going to put this right here in my skillet. And get all this out here. Okay. Then we'll sort of press this around on the bottom. Press some of these hot dogs down in there. Okay, now I'm going to put this in my oven for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm going to watch it till it starts getting brown, and then I'll come back to you. My corn dog part of the casserole is out of the oven now. It was in there about 20 minutes. It's nice and golden brown. You can see the hot dog sticking through. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've got a can of chili. It could be any type of chili that you want to use. And I'm going to take it and I'm just going to spoon this chili right on top. I'm going to turn my timer off here. Spoon this chili right on top of my corn dog mix. Oh, I wish you could smell this. I had somebody write me, I don't know which recipe it was, but I was doing the recipe and I said, you know, I wish you could smell this. I said, one of these days they might have the technology that you can actually, will be able to smell things as they're cooking on TV or videos or whatever. And she said, believe me or not, she said, I could actually smell it when you were cooking it. She said, I could smell it. It was so good. Okay. Now I've got my chili on here. I'm going to put cheese on top of this. I've got a triple cheese here, a blend of cheese. But what I'm going to do is I'm only going to put it on half of the casserole. The reason why I have somebody coming over for lunch and they cannot have cheese. So if I was doing this for myself, I would put cheese on the whole thing. But since they cannot have cheese, they're lactose intolerant, I'm just going to put cheese on half of it. I'm going to put this back in my oven. It's set on 400 degrees. Back in my oven until my cheese is melted really well. So I'm going to put this back in my oven now and let this get nice and golden brown. And when it does, I'll come back. Our corn dog chili casserole has cooled down maybe about 15 minutes. So I'm sort of anxious to show you what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to cut a piece out of here on this end right here. And put it on my plate here if I don't burn myself. This is, like I said, it's really hot. But can you see that? Can you see all the hot dogs in there? You've got your hot dogs, you've got your cornbread, and you've got your cheese right on top there. Okay, now if I was having this for myself, a corn dog is not a corn dog with me if I don't have a little bit of mustard on it. So this is just what I'm doing for myself. Other than getting the mustard all over me here, like I just did. We'll put a little bit of mustard on there. And then those who watch me, you know that I love chilies. So I'm going to take a few chilies and sprinkle those on the top right here. And then the true test. Like I said, I know this is going to be really hot, but I'm going to make sure I get a chili here and a hot dog and some cheese and cornbread. We'll give this a try. That's really good. I promise you, if you fix this once, this will become a regular in your house. Really, really good, delicious. I hope that you have a joyful day today. I hope that you find peace in your spirit, and I hope you find love in your heart. Know that I thank you for all your support, and I appreciate you letting me come in again. Give this one a try. It's a great recipe. Until next time, I'll send you a big hug, and God bless.